Hello everyone. So today we are learning simultaneous equation. So what's simultaneous equation? So simultaneous equation actually involves two equations and normally two equations with the same pronumerals. So the first thing we want to learn is how to solve simultaneous equation by substitution. So if you're a student and you're doing a test, if the question requires you to do simultaneous equation by substitution, you have to use this method, the method of substitution, so that you can get marks for your working. So if we have a question like that, the first equation will be 2x plus y. The second equation will be y equals to x plus 2. We can see that for the second equation, y, a singular y is the subject. So this is a really good situation because we can actually straight away sub x plus 2 from the second equation into the first equation. I'll show you what I mean. So if we substitute the second equation into the first equation now it's going to look like that. So initially the first equation was 2x plus y equals to negative 7. So here, instead of y, we have 2x plus, because y equals to x plus 2. So instead of writing y, I'm putting x plus 2 in its place, equals to negative 7. So now can you see that the whole equation consists of only one pronumeral? So that is how we can actually solve this. So we can actually simplify it first by distributing the brackets and then combining the like terms together, and then further by solving it we can find that x has a value of negative 3. So when x has a value of negative 3, in order to find the value of y, we have to substitute x equals to negative 3 into either one of the equation, but I would suggest substituting into the easier equation. So in this case is equation number 2. So for y equals to x plus 2, so y equals to, instead of writing x, I'm putting x as negative 3, plus 2 will give us the value of negative 1. So therefore, x will be negative 3, y will be negative 1. So if we actually draw them as a line, like two lines here, you can see that the point of intersection of both lines will be at the point of negative 3 and negative 1. So negative 3 will be the value of x, because according to the coordinate, the first value will be the x value, and negative 1 will be the y value. So the point of intersection is also the solution for the simultaneous equation. I will actually show you how to solve this using the TI-CAS calculator as well. So if I go to the calculator software, so if you pick the calculator software, and if you go to menu and to algebra and to solve system of equation, so we will choose the first option, which is solve system of equations. And if we have two equations with the variable x, y here. So if we press OK, so the first one is 2x plus y is negative 7. So I'll just put 2x plus y equals negative 7. And the second equation is just y equals to x plus 2. So if we solve this, we can actually see that x has a value of negative 3 and y has a value of negative 1, similar to solving it this way. So there are actually many ways to solve it, and there are actually many ways to solve it, but if the method says solving this using method of substitution, we have to do that. So let's just practice this again with another example. So if we have another set of equations over here, so if we have 2x plus 2y, 3x plus 2y equals to 6, and 5x plus 3y equals to 11, Yeah, this is a different situation because just now it was really easy when there is a singular pronumeral as the subject. In this case, there is none. But however, all we have to do is do an additional step. So if I choose the first equation and I try to make, yeah, that's the first equation, that's the second equation. So if I choose the first equation and I make y as the subject, so this will become the same situation as the what we have learned so far just now. So for example, so 3x plus 2y equals 6, yeah? So if we throw the 3x across the equal sign, it's gonna be 2y equals to 6, take 3x, yeah? So dividing every single term by 2 will give us y equals to 3, take 1.5x. So now, as we can see, we have y, a singular y as the subject. And now, since we have a singular y as the subject, we can actually substitute the first equation into the second equation as what we have done previously. So by substituting the first equation into the second equation, we get 5x plus 3y equals 11 here. So 5x plus 3, instead of writing y, I'm putting 3 take 1.5x because that's a similar value, equals to 11. So after we have gotten up to here, we just have to distribute the bracket and then collect all the like terms together and solve for the value of x. And once we have found the value of x, to find the value of y will be pretty easy. We can substitute the value of x equals 4 into either one of the equation and it will work. It will return us a value of -3. So for this question, the answer for x is 4 and the answer for y is -3. And similarly, if we draw a line, so if we draw these two lines again, the point of intersection will be 4 and -3, which is the solution. Yeah. So how do we solve simultaneous equation by elimination? So the word elimination means we have to eliminate one of the pronumeral so that we could solve the equation. So if we have the same question, yep, and we need to solve this using elimination, we have to list down two of them together first and find whether are there any terms that are sort of exactly alike. It doesn't matter whether the signs are the same or different, as long as they are alike. So in this case, I sort of rewrite the second equation so that, like, I sort of move my x across the equal sign so that it's a -x plus y equals to 2. So in this case, we can see that two of the positive y's are alike. So what I can do is I can put the first equation minus the second equation. So because these two has the same signs, in order to get rid of both of the y's, I have to take the second equation from the first equation. So that means that 2x minus -x will give me a 3x. A positive y minus a positive y will give me nothing. Yeah, so it's gonna be 0 here. And a -7 minus 2 will give me a -9. So in this case, I have managed to eliminate my y. So this is called the method of elimination. So by further solving it, we know that x has a value of -3. The rest is pretty much easy. So this is what we have done before. Yeah, so that's how you solve using the method of elimination. So in another situation, what if there are no two terms that are exactly the same? Yeah. So now we have 3x plus 2y as equals 6 as the first equation, and 5x plus 3y equals 11 as the second equation. So how are we going to make them the same? So if I want to make the value of y the same, I could times every single term for my first equation by 3. So 3x times 3 gives me a 9x. 2y times 3 give me a 6y, and a 6 times 3 give me an 18. So how do we make the second equation sort of like have the same y value as the first equation? We have to times every single term of the second equation by 2. So 5x times 2, we get 10x, 3y times 2, we get 6y, 11 times 2, we get 22. So now that we have done this and we have gotten sort of like 6y and 6y as the same terms, now we can actually use a 4 take 3 to eliminate my y. So if I use the fourth equation to take the third equation, that would mean 10x minus 9x will give me a singular x. 6y minus 6y is a 0. 22 minus 18 gives me a 4. So I have found the value of my x. To find the value of y is pretty much similar to what we have done before. So all you have to do is substitute the value of your x into either one of the equation. I pick equation 1. So you will get the corresponding value of y, which is negative 3. So yeah, so that's how we solve questions using simultaneous equation. So happy studying at home. See you next time. Bye.